my name's Lauren, and I am the Lolo behind Lolodidit, a hand-dyed yarn business in central Kentucky, and also the owner of a sheep farm. So today I wanted to give you a farm update. I haven't done that in a while, and I thought it'd be really fun, especially because we sheared our sheep this past week. And it was it was long overdue. We should have sheared them in March. It's all scheduling and babies and lambing and all of this stuff, but we did finally shear them. And I wanted to kind of give you like a background of what has been going on. So last year we sheared our sheep, and I'll play some videos that I have while I'm talking to you. But we sheared our sheep last year, which is the first time we sheared them. We had 8 or 9 sheep. I cannot remember. It wasn't very many. And we were still in the process of purchasing sheep at the time of the shearing last year. And then this fall, we bred them to our rams and ended up having 16 lambs this spring that were all born at the end of March and early April. So it's been an interesting year. We're first-time farmers. We have done gardening and things like that in the past, have had chickens, but have never had larger farm animals. My husband grew up for some formative years on a goat farm, but for me, I have had zero experience. So we're doing a lot of research. So the past few years before we even got sheep, we did a lot of research on sheep, what we wanted, how we wanted to raise them, what we wanted to do with them. But now, since having them, it's all practical application. Like how do you actually run a sheep farm? How do you manage your time? What kind of feed do you want to feed them? The type of minerals, how you want to graze them, pasture rotations, and all of these things are things that you have to think about on a farm. And there's a lot of things that I knew I would have to think about just because my husband is like the ultimate researcher of everything. So he really helped figure out a lot of the stuff, making sure that we were prepared so we weren't like going into this completely blind. But it still is a lot. It's a lot of stuff to learn as you're going along to see how farming works. So this year was our second shearing. I feel like we did a pretty good job in preparing this time and making sure that we were ready, understanding the format and the flow, what the shearer wanted from us and what we wanted to get out of the wool. And it was a really good day. During that day, I actually also skirted all of the fleece at the same time. So I wanted to get it to a processor right away. So last year I waited a couple of months because I was researching processors, trying to figure out the best place for our wool to go, and looking at distance and quality and all of those things. So I waited a little while to make that happen. And so this year I wanted to get right on it, make sure I was ready to ship this wool or drive it to whichever processor that we chose. So this year I'm a little bit more knowledgeable in the wool and the process and everything that I have to do, which is really cool. But I have not received back the wool that we got processed last year yet. So it was supposed to be done in January, but it's taking a little bit longer, I guess, or the mill got backed up. So I'm still waiting on it, but we will be getting it sometime this summer. It's going to happen. And what's really cool is it's 100% made in Kentucky. It is made on, our sheep, our wool, a Kentucky processor, and all of that. So we're really, really excited for it. And I have a sample here that I wanted to show you. So she sent me a sample of it. And this is it. So I got a sport weight, 2-ply sport weight, and it looks really nice. It's a really, really creamy color. So if you have ever purchased my Naked Low Original, for example, which is just undyed naked wool, it's pretty bright. It's pretty white for wool. Of course, you're not going to get a true white, but it's pretty white. But this is really, really creamy color. It's a very, very pretty natural color. And I thought it would be pretty just by itself. But I don't know. I can't decide. It is soft next to skin. It is soft. I would say the feel is really similar to the feeling of a BFL. If you have ever felt that. I carried BFL for a short time on my shop, but not very long. But this is similar to that. I would totally wear it as a cowl, a hat, mittens, socks. But my plan is to make a sweater. So that's my plan because they're my sheep. It's our first batch. So I'm going to make myself a sweater. So a lot of people have been asking me, what are you going to do with your wool? What are you going to do once you get the yarn finished and processed and once you get it in your hands? And so I am going to be selling this in skeins, and they will only be available to our patrons or secondarily anybody who's subscribed to the Lolo Had a Little Lamb club, which is actually still open. So if you wanted to join that club, you absolutely can. If you want to be a patron through our Mighty Networks community, you absolutely can. We have a ton of fun over there. Our Q3 Summer Sweater Knit Along is starting on July 1st, so you will love it. We have coupons, we have giveaways, we have early access. Our shop update is this Tuesday, June 6th, which I believe this podcast will be published after that shop update. But if you're watching that, go to the website anyways. I usually don't sell out instantaneously. There will definitely be items there through that shop update if you wanted to see it. But our patrons get early access to our shop updates, but they also get early access to my yarn that I have. So from our sheep. I'm so excited. So you can join that anytime. It doesn't matter if you join it the month that I actually get the yarn in my hands, or if you're joining beforehand. I will treat every patron the same. I believe based on the interest in getting yarn from me that we'll have to do some kind of lottery, because I know that I do not have enough skeins for every single person, but I have enough for people to be able to probably get what they want for the people who win that lottery system. So that's my idea for now. We'll see once I get everything in my hands, and I also want to talk to the patrons a little bit more and make sure to get solid numbers on what people are wanting. So I'm really thrilled about it. I'm very excited. I hope you're enjoying any of the videos and pictures I've been posting throughout this. But anyways, that is our wool. That's our farm update. So excited about it. I actually went out yesterday. So it's really hot, and now they're like naked sheep. They do not have any wool on them. And I went out yesterday to go put out a new bucket of water for the lambs, because some of the lambs are tall enough to get into our watering system, and some of the lambs aren't quite big enough to get into that. So we have to make sure we have a really low trough for them for water. So yesterday I was going to fill up the water, and I was using the hose, and one of the lambs, Annie, she is our bottle baby. She's the only one we had, and she's so funny. She always runs up to us, but she decided that she wanted to play in the water stream while I'm getting it in the bucket. It was so cute. So I will put that video at the end so that you can see her. Like, she's just dipping her head in the water, and it's really, really cute. I've never seen a sheep do that. Usually if we have the water on, they kind of just stay away until we're done putting water in it. But she was bold as can be, no fear, wanted to see what was going on. So I thought that was really funny. So that's my farm shop, my farm update. Shop updates on Tuesday the 6th, but if you are seeing this later, you absolutely can go to the website and see it. You can also see what's new in our shop. We have our Santa Goes to the Beach box, which is really cool. I am doing a collaboration with Kettle and Hearth Fibers. She makes project bags, and it's going to be so cute. I've got some goodies planned for it, and designing a pattern for that box as well. So that's really cool. I believe I will be posting another round of advents in June. So keep an eye on that. If you missed out or you wanted to get both boxes, we're trying to work on finances or anything, I'll be posting another one in June. And we've got some new colorways coming out. New colorways. Our Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is back. And best of all, as far as I'm concerned, I love knitting sweaters. So our summer sweater knit along is starting July 1st. I told you that already. But what I didn't tell you is the designer that we're working with is Hanks and Needles, and she has designed a sweater called Smitten. If you want to know more about it, watch our last video. The last video that I published has a lot about the summer sweater knit along. I also put together kits. Those kits should be on the shop already by the time this is posting, because her sweater is coming out on June 8th. So once we get that out, order your kits, get your yarn ready, and come join us over in the Lolo community to have fun with us on knitting a sweater. But other things that are happening on the farm is we have a lot of gardening going on. So last year we did 5 raised beds. I had 48 tomato plants and 60 something pepper plants. It was kind of ridiculous. But even with all those plants, you would think that would be crazy. We actually ate through 100% of the tomatoes that I put back, or we use some in the summertime. But I mean, I canned a lot of tomatoes, tomato sauce, and preserved cherry tomatoes in olive oil and tons of stuff. And we ate all but, I think, 3 jars of peppers. So that's actually the right amount of gardening, I think. The right amount. And I don't even have that many this year, so I think that we're just going to be in a deficit when it comes to having everything for wintertime. But I'm trying, and that's the whole point. I'm not expecting to eat every single thing off our farm, but what we do try to do is eat as much as possible from our local farmers market and local farmers who sell us beef and pork, chicken, and eggs. So we do get most of our meat products from local places. And then in the summertime, I try to, if I'm not growing it myself, I try to make sure that I'm buying it from the farmer's market and putting it away if I have excess or if I have an opportunity to get a deal or anything like that. We really, really try to do that. It's not just like, it's not just putting it back or eating from our pantry or things like that. It's definitely more economical to grow your own. It's simpler especially in wintertime, I do not feel like trudging out and going to the grocery store. I like having all of the ingredients at my house. I like that they smell like summer. So when you are canning your own vegetables or preserving them or freeze drying them or dehydrating them, they taste and smell like summertime, which really the stuff from the grocery store just doesn't. It's just not the same. I don't know. But the other thing that I really like is that I feel like I'm supporting the people around me, like my neighbors and my friends and fellow farmers. So I really like being able to do that. So we try to eat as much as possible from our garden, but it's not big enough to do that, and we don't have all of the different kinds of varieties. But this year, we, on top of the 5 beds, so what happened with those 5 beds is in between the tomato and pepper plants, I planted a lot of herbs. And so this spring at some point, I took apart all of the dead stuff and brushed it away, all the dead tomato stems and pepper stems and all that. Put it all away and put it into our compost pile. And then I just let it go. Well, lo and behold, almost all of my herbs came back. My sage came back. Our oregano came back with a vengeance. I have got an entire, I don't know, I guess it's 8x4 raised bed full of oregano. I'm going to have to start drying some of that. I've got thyme, basil, and what else came back? Sage. I don't remember if I said that. Sage. So it was really cool. All of that stuff was so cool that all of that came back. So I left those raised beds because we were planning on doing something different this year. And we put in these really large, tall raised beds that we had been seeing at a local Amish store. So we decided to go that route, buy those, fill those up with, so we filled them up with wood, so rocks at the bottom, then wood chips, then our compost that we have had for a year or more. It depended on, which pile we got it from. And then we put some purchased topsoil on the top and then started it. So we've got our peppers and our tomato plants are in. And so the next things that we're working on are different vegetables, things that I can grow later in the season. So, because it's pretty late. We had a really, really hectic spring. For those of you who are not in my Patron group and didn't know this, we moved business locations, which is crazy. Now we're doing business closer to home, which is really, really nice. We moved business locations. We had lambs. And then my husband was out of town for like a week and a half during the lambing season. And then all of the moving. And then we had a show. And it was like 500 things. Since February, we haven't had a break until this weekend. So we've had every single thing happening every single weekend up until this past weekend, which was crazy. So we didn't really get our garden in the timeliness that I really wanted to. So we're just doing what we can, doing the things that we know how to grow, and building up this container garden so that next year it's ready for an even bigger garden, which is our entire reason why we do it. We don't want to have a high maintenance garden. We want something that feeds us and is fun to do, and we can put away some of our favorite things for the winter time. And I will say that since moving to Kentucky, we do a lot of peppers. The variety of hot peppers that are available in Kentucky is not even close to what they were available in Las Vegas when we lived there. So we were spoiled by hot peppers. So we kind of go a little bit crazy with hot peppers. Not gonna lie, love them, and we preserve them in all sorts of ways. So, from freeze drying it, dehydrating them. We put them into salsas, and we also make our own like fermented hot sauce. So it's really fun. If you're into that stuff, I think it's really fun. If you have been following me for a while, you know that I really like canning. And even when we lived in Las Vegas, we went to the farmers markets there, and I would can and preserve and make jams and jellies for the winter time there as well. So I always have really enjoyed it. The other thing that is happening on our farm that I think I posted on Instagram, I'm pretty sure I did, but Trey, Mr. Lolo, added bees to the farm this year. So he's been so excited. I'm not kidding you. He's been researching bees since the moment we discussed moving closer to a weather that has more changes and it's a greener area. So however long that's been, probably like 5 years since we started discussing moving away from the western side of the United States. So he has been researching that, and he really loves bugs. I know that sounds really strange, but he really loves bugs. He likes the way that they work and move and work in a community, and how they help our environment and our farming and our gardening and all of that stuff. He just loves that. He's totally fascinated by it. He's always watching videos on YouTube and reading books and all that stuff. So this year was the year. So he got all of the stuff over the winter time. So for about 7 months, he collected just a little at a time as budget would allow to get the things that he would need to be a beekeeper. And then this spring, he just got his bees, I would say like a month ago. Whenever I posted that on Instagram, probably around a month ago, he got his bees and they're already going gangbusters. One of the hives is going crazy and he's already adding boxes to it. Now, for you beekeepers out there, I don't know all of the technical terminology. He is the beekeeper. I don't even have a bee suit. He does all of it. But he did add a box to one of the hives, which is really cool. He was very excited about that. We see them in our garden all the time, which is awesome. I love seeing the bees because for whatever reason, we almost never saw pollinators on our farm the past 2 years. Or really since we lived here, we almost never see butterflies or bees or, all of those pollinators. And so it's really wonderful to see the bees, and even our neighbors have commented on having the bees. They're really glad that we have them, and so we're excited about it. I'm glad that they're glad too, because you are bringing in bees onto your property, but they go so far that they are going to other people's properties as well. So it's really nice, very encouraging. And we already tasted our first little taste of honey. Now, of course, my husband brought a quarter size of honey on this little piece of cardboard. He's like, taste it. And it's really sweet. I think it's probably because it's pretty clear. I think we have a lot of honeysuckle, which it sounds to me like the people who have the darker honeys have a lot more trees than we do. Ours is mostly pasture, so we have a lot of clover and honeysuckle and things like that, but not a lot of trees or flowering trees around us because we have 14 acres of pasture. So, but nonetheless, we are thrilled about it, and we're so excited to have bees. We're so excited to have honey. I don't know if I'm sure that we'll just have enough honey just for ourselves the first year, and then we'll be expanding, but that in itself is really cool. So we're over the moon with all of these farm projects, and couldn't be more thankful for where we live and what we're doing, and all of the people around us that are our farming friends, our neighbors and things like that. And our friends, we have a lot of friends in Lexington as well, which is about 45 minutes away. They're all so encouraging and so kind and willing to give us resources because we're learning as we go. And it's just been a really good experience. Since moving to Kentucky, we really have had a good experience from the farming community, and everybody just welcomed us with open arms. So now we're doing it as on a hobby level, I would say. So we're not doing farmers market, we're not selling our stuff out and about. So, but we really enjoy it. So I hope you love all of the photos and videos that I'm sharing. I will put some more at the end for you to see. And I want to thank you so much for supporting us. If you want to support us further in our farm adventures, definitely join our Patron group, especially if you're into yarn. If you're into Lolodidit yarn, join our Patron group. It isn't very much a month, and if I offer a coupon code, generally, if you are into yarn, you're going to be paying for that Patron subscription really easily every month because of the coupon codes. But if you're not into Lolodidit yarn and you're just following me because you're a friend, you're a farmer, you're a supporter, you just love us, we thank you so much. I do have a link to our coffee, Kofi coffee link, if you would like to support us financially there. Just watching our YouTube videos, giving us a thumbs up or subscribing is super helpful. And if you are interested in any of the products that we have, just let me know, send me a comment or shoot me an email. I would love that. And thank you all for supporting us. We love you guys so much, and couldn't be more thankful. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.